Motorball might not be the only playground for Alita, as the franchise itself is complex and volatile when the continuation of the story is mentioned. So we took the liberty to take a first look into things and see what the director of the first movie, Robert Rodriguez, has to say about it.
You told me the story of the war, of the ones that survived, who awoke to a different world.
But also the shift of format for the franchise needed for it to be an even more successful project moving forward. Whenever the sequel of Alita Battle Angel is mentioned, everyone seems to be getting a stomachache, as it's not something everyone wants to discuss, despite the fact that the sequel itself or the continuation of the story is very much needed. And yes, Disney should make a sequel, but this time around in the form of a TV series on Disney+. Based on the Japanese manga, the movie received a big screen adaptation courtesy of James Cameron.
I wanted to make something that resembled more of a Jim Cameron movie by grounding it more in reality.
After years in development and a lot of obstacles here and there, he passed on the reins over to Robert Rodriguez after Cameron himself got his hands dirty with his baby, Avatar.
Well, wait a minute, if you're going to be doing just avatars, well, what happens to, Battle Angel?
There's a second in there where I thought, I want to see Battle Angel.
And all the sequels already in production. The movie's release was the final point before Disney acquired the project from Fox. As for how the movie was accepted, the movie received mixed to positive reception by the critics. However, this wasn't the case among the fans, as they were always ready for a continuation of the story, launching campaigns to show Disney how much interest there is for a potential sequel. The hype for a sequel to this day is mainly due to how the first movie managed to plant the seeds for the bigger story to come. Unfortunately, we don't think that Alita will get to see another movie, but that doesn't mean that the story will end here.
From here, there are worlds above worlds above worlds. It's where I used to live.
Recent reports and hints are showing that Alita might be moving to something greater, seeing where the franchise stands at the moment, jumping from the movie side of things to becoming a TV series on Disney+, which could ultimately be an even better format for the franchise anyway. Before we move forward, we'll refresh your memory. The movie followed the cyborg Alita, who after being recovered from the scrapyard and restored by the compassionate Dr. Dyson Ido, awakens with no recollection of who she is or what the world around her was like. She then sets out to discover the Iron City, find out who she was, and make a new life for herself in a place completely foreign to her.
It's a harsh world. The strong prey on the weak down here. You gotta stay focused on your dream.
Before being known for his latest projects in the likes of The Book of Boba Fett, Robert Rodriguez had the opportunity to work on Alita Battle Angel, and he did an amazing job while we're at that too. And it sure must have put a lot of pressure on him knowing that Alita was a 20-year passion project by James Cameron, who decided to pass it on to Rodriguez. And ever since the first movie came out, the need for a sequel started to grow larger and larger, with many fans asking Disney to buy in on the franchise and deliver a sequel. Even the cast from the first movie are on board for it.
The film follows the journey of Alita, whose once forgotten past starts to reveal her true destiny as a warrior.
This brings us to the man of the hour, Robert Rodriguez, who also had a few words to say about the potential sequel for Alita, who let us on a little secret, which may be the case moving forward, and the thing we're talking about is, of course, him jumping on the project as soon as his hands are not needed for the Book of Boba Fett series, which should be very soon. He also added that he's also on the hype train for a sequel, with it going in a different type of form, a TV series, with Rodriguez probably somehow interpreting the story of the movie into the series, the first few episodes serving as a soft reboot of the franchise, and then a continuation of the story that could maybe turn into a multi-season TV series, which will stream in the Disney Plus streaming platform.
You'd made the biggest mistake of your life.
The movie itself left a wide door open for a sequel, no matter the form, with the first movie setting up a universe in which we could see a deeper exploration of Alita's past, but a much bigger presence from Nova himself, who by the looks of things is gearing up to be the big baddie moving forward. And yes, a shift in form might seem like a drastic change, but seeing all the titles Disney inherited from the 20th Century Fox and using them to make sequels and spin-offs, now as properties of Disney, we would not be surprised if the final decision is made for Alita to turn into a TV series.
Fans of the manga will be really excited to see how many details are in there.
which will probably be a better thing for the franchise as there's a lot of source material and plenty of stories to go on, two elements which point towards a seasonal showing of the franchise, especially now since Robert Rodriguez has a good working relationship with Disney. Whatever the case may be, we have no doubt that there will be a continuation of the story, with it being as creative, breathtaking, and engaging as its first installment.
An incredible artist named Kishiro created Alita Battle Angel 30 years ago.
The 5-year period between 1990 and 1995 delivered 9 volumes of the Alita manga series, all created by Yukido Kishiro.
Kishiro's creation is something that inspires dreams.
And Rodriguez and Cameron took the liberty to interpret the first 2 volumes into a movie, while also adding some other elements for it, which were crucial to set up a sequel and the future of the franchise moving forward. With everything put together, all decisions made, the movie eventually told the story in just over 2 hours, which looked like it wasn't enough, as certain developments, character deaths, and sequel setup happened so quickly. Sources are telling us that even before the filming of the first movie began, Cameron had an entire trilogy for the franchise planned, with the other 2 movies finishing the story of Alita from the manga series, covering all volumes. However, this early planning was maybe what held the franchise down, with the pace plan for the first movie, making the sequels following it suffer in the storytelling side of things. And why is that? Well, the main reason, and probably the biggest one, is the story, with it simply being too big to fit one trilogy, while also all the details brought to light in the 2-hour format the first movie came in, which in today's world serves as a prime example of how the franchise would look like moving forward. This is exactly why a Disney Plus TV series could be just what the franchise needs and for the story to continue. This change of pace and format could only benefit the storytelling in the long term, with The Mandalorian being the prime example of how it could look like. The first season of that show came with 8 episodes, 30 minutes long each, which let Jon Favreau tell a much bigger story in the 4 hours of runtime he got solely for the first season, which is much more screen time for everyone when compared to the half runtime of the Alita Battle Angel movie. Thus, when everything is taken into consideration, a Disney Plus series for Alita would be the best thing that can happen for the franchise, a great place with a lot more runtime for the story of the franchise moving forward, a much more time for both Rodriguez and Cameron to express their thoughts onto the story more precisely, catching even more of the crucial elements about the story of Alita. We know that we are going on and on about the format change, but that's because there was even a pitch from Disney about a season for the franchise, and the idea being for the first season of the series to have 4 or 6 one-hour episodes, letting the little angel thrive in this kind of environment. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below what are your thoughts on the franchise so far, and if you could, what are the things you would change about it moving forward? And also feel free to share your decision about where Alita should go next, a sequel in the form of a movie or a TV series on Disney+. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.